Hello everybody, welcome to Snyder's Inc. And today, we got that chapter. And he's got a new one that I found interesting to the point that I thought we should watch it. Good answer, right? Thought we should watch it. It is Finding Hailey Dunn. Now, I literally don't know anything about this, so this is going to be new to me. So, I think we need to get into this. Are you guys ready? I know you're ready. Let's go!
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this whole video, we're off again, on a trek to Colorado, Texas City. This won't be confusing at all. Colorado City is made up of a little more than 4,000 people, so, come on, city?
Colorado. Okay. Not Colorado. Colorado. Okay.
Let's be real. And was the home, and I suppose kinda sorta still is, of an enduring, decade-long mystery. The questions never stopped, in that small city over 10 years, and we will get to them. But, today, some have been answered. So what remains? Well, let's give it a go. So yeah, the city is called Colorado, not Colorado. That's how you don't get them, mixed up. The old pronunciation guy. It's not a get out of jail free card. So let's get to that and the people who lived there. In this small, quiet, rather run-down town. Well, first off, out of the roughly 4,000 people who live there today, much like it was 10 years ago, we're going to focus on one family. But before I get there, the most fascinating thing I could find about the city is this Facebook post from February 2021, when a big ol' winter storm hit the city. Power, water, done gone.
So this guy named Tim Boyd just fucking snapped on everyone in a post. I love it. I fucking love it.
Named Tim Boyd posted, get this, no one owes you or your family anything. If you are sitting at home in the cold because you have no power and are sitting there waiting for someone to come rescue you because you're lazy is direct result of your raising, only the strong will survive and the weak will perish. It goes on and on. It's actually pretty funny. And what's even funnier was Tim Boyd was the mayor of Colorado City.
The fucking mayor just being a dick towards everyone. Oh god, what an idiot.
That actually makes it funnier, him just posting that.
Oh
You
yeah.
voters. He ended up getting fired. Probably should have taken his own advice.
Yeah. He deserved to get fired. That's funny.
Along with spelling lessons. And so, on Chestnut Street, a big old one that bisects the town into Colo and Rado, lived the Dunns. Today, it's an empty lot with posters for missing Hailey Dunn. So how did it get to this? Hailey Darlene Dunn was born in 1997, living in Texas her whole life. Her parents, Clint and Billy, and she had one brother, David, just 3 years older than herself. Her parents were divorced, but Clint lived in town. Now, at her school, Colorado City Middle School, she was big into volleyball, basketball, cheerleading, and the saxophone, while living with David, Mama, and Mama's new man, Sean Atkins, 8 years younger than Billy.
He looks suspicious to me. There's just something about him. I'm just gonna throw it out there. He looks really suspicious to me.
And so it was after the 28th of December 2010 that everybody started to hear the name Hailey Dunn, because that's the day she was reported missing. On that day, a Tuesday, Billy Dunn called 911 at about 2 p.m. Hailey was nowhere to be found. Nothing was missing from her room. She still had, her little piggy bank, her Christmas, iPod, her clothes. The things that, if you said she was going to run away, she would have taken those. It was reported, and this is from the affidavit, that Hailey was last seen the day before, on the Monday
How old is this girl?
afternoon, last seen by Billy's live-in boyfriend, Sean. Shouldn't have been. According to Sean, that day he was fired. Yes, fired. What, this guy with these weird MySpace photos? See, he worked at WSI. They were involved in, a bit of oil drilling in nearby Snyder, 38 minutes north. Well, not anymore, because let me tell you, that very day he gave his supervisor a knuckle sandwich. He then went to his Mama Adkins in Big Springs, calmed down, back to Chestnut Street, and saw Hailey there. He said she left the gaff at like about 3 p.m. She was going to visit her dad, who was just down the road. Then she was going to a friend's for a sleepover. David, the brother, he had stayed the previous night at a friend's house and was back in school. Billy, she was working that day. She was also working in Snyder. The last time she saw Hailey was when she left at 6:30 a.m. So she went to a sleepover and never returned. Well, authorities would soon discover that the friend Hailey was supposed to be going to sleeping over at, they never expected Hailey. There was no planned sleepover, and her dad, Clint, never saw her that day. So the search was on.
I told you that that man's suspicious. There was a suspiciousness about that dude. He looks like a piece of shit.
A young girl missing.
As a parent myself, I worry.
A community unites to bring her home.
Night and day. We will not rest until Hailey is found.
Tonight, the search is taking on a new intensity.
The sheriff's office is there. Texas Rangers are finally involved.
Special team coverage live from Colorado City tonight at 5 and 6.
Police going door to door. Flyers. Reporters on the scene. Parties. Apparently Sean and Billy had a big old New Year's Eve bash. Gotta find the light in the dark, I guess.
It's been reported that we hosted a New Year's Eve party at our house. This is an absurdity beyond belief. Members of my family were at my house to be with me in this time of distress and to worry about Hailey.
Though they already had a bit of that because on the...
What a piece of shit, if that's actually true. Throwing a New Year's Eve party while your daughter is missing? What a piece of shit.
The 27th of December, the day Hailey was last seen, they went to Snyder, took out money, and bought some narcotics. That was odd.
Billy is praying her daughter will return home safely.
We hope that she took off on her own. We hope she's scared to come home now because it's been so long. But there's a chance. There's a great chance in my mind, as far as I'm concerned, that somebody snatched my baby off the...
No, I think your stupid boyfriend, and maybe you, now that I think about it, took her out.
Street.
Hailey wasn't considered a missing person until the 3rd of January. Until then, it was assumed she had run away. With none of her things. I already mentioned that. That was like the first thing.
While she was first thought to be a runaway, people are now telling Sierra Putman they're just not sure anymore. But after a week...
First couple of days, for sure, runaway.
There's a lot to learn when you're a new parent. Like the ins and outs of nap time. Get them to sleep fast.
I hate that they think this towards children leaving. I hate it so much because your first 2 days, first 48 hours, are the most crucial towards finding someone who's gone missing. And if your first 48 hours you are so lackadaisical and you so put little care into it because of the fact you think it's a runaway, despite the fact that nothing of hers is freaking taken at all, then you're stupid. And that police force is stupid. I would look at every missing person thing as a missing person thing, even if it is just a case of a runaway, because you don't know for sure.
Very out of character for Hailey. She's never just taken off and stayed gone before.
Runaway, for sure. Next several days, you stop and think. It's not a runaway.
By the 4th of January, this was big news.
Let me know if you're in the comments. Let me know if you believe I'm wrong. Should every case... Now, okay, so here is my main example of a rule that doesn't fall like that. So I have, in where I live, there is a two sisters who consistently run away. Consistently. Every time, then don't. Like, if they're known for doing it on a consistent basis, then kind of look as a runaway and just try to find them. When you're going into a scenario like this and they don't run away before and they never, the first time, that's when I think you should always look as a missing person. Let me know if you agree or disagree with me on that.
Across America. So it doesn't really take much, mucho, to decide where this investigation, should go and who it should, focus on. Well, the Colorado City Police Department, maybe it does take much. But let's get to what was, uncovered.
Police say they are taking a more aggressive approach. They're actually canvassing the neighborhood around the Dunn home with non-uniform officers. They're going door to door looking for anybody that might know anything about Hailey.
Well, old Shawnee. Shawnee. Remember how he said he knocked his supervisor out? One punch man, 2 hits in it. Sean hitting the supervisor to his supervisor hitting the ground. That was it. Remember how he said that? That was a lie. Dude. The Popo decided to snoop around Sean Adkins' attaboy's story. The day Hailey went missing, the day he said he saw her at 3 p.m. Well, he said he went into work that morning, arrived at 6 a.m. and bait the head off his boss and was fired. Not so. When the police went to speak with his employers, they said he was a good employee, He wasn't fired. There had been no dispute. There had been no fisticuffs. He just stopped coming into work. That morning, the 27th, he arrived in, went to the break room, had a Dr. Purple, looked at his supervisor without saying a word, the affidavit says, and then left work at 6:10 a.m. What an oddball. Just a few days later, the investigators got a warrant for his cell phone, and it turns out he didn't go to his mama's house after work either that day. After he left work at 6:10 a.m., he went straight back to Colorado City, to a house on Chestnut Street where Hailey was the only person in it. He did go to his mother's that day, but just way in the afternoon. So from, about 6:35 till about 2:30. No one knows what he did, and he was with Hailey, we can assume. That day, again...
I knew it. I told you. Look I told you. This little boy, this fucking dude is a fucking suspicious piece of shit. That's what he is. He's a piece of shit. I told you.
On the 27th, David Dunn, the older brother, he came home at about 4 p.m. After Sean said Hailey left at 3. David couldn't get in the house. The house on Chestnut Street, the door was locked. He was banging, he was rapping away for 5 minutes. Eventually, he got into the house via a window, right? Because nobody was answering the front door and it was locked. When he got into the house, he said he saw Sean standing in the hallway, deer in the headlights, look in his face. When Hailey's uncles came by, after she disappeared, one of them said to Sean, apparently, who would do this, to a 13-year-old girl? And Sean replied, yeah, it's like killing a deer. Something Sean did all the time.
Billy Dunn says the rumors are beginning to get to her, especially the finger-pointing going on about her former live-in boyfriend, Sean Adkins.
I feel like there's too much focus on him.
He wasn't much better when speaking.
No, it's just because I don't trust you, Billy, the mother, and I don't trust this fucking live-in boyfriend. I don't trust either of you two.
Speaking to the police, either. Him and Billy both failed lie detectors multiple times. Failed after not showing up twice. He allowed the police to check his phone, and they did. They gave it back to him, and then one of the cops was like, oh, can I look at your phone again? There's something, I want to review something. Sean literally deleted whatever that was the cop wanted to see right in front of him, and was like, here you go. He also told the police Hailey was promiscuous, sexually active, and participated in drug use. Right. No one else said anything like that. Now, right, like any sane man, he agreed he would not go on the TV, to talk about an ongoing investigation in which he was the main person of interest. He wouldn't talk to the media. He said he wouldn't do it. There's no way he can come out of this looking good.
Sean Adkins, did you at all have...
Stupid people do stupid things. idiot! Idiot! Where the intelligent people go in this fucking world? Why is the idiot?
Anything to do with Hailey's disappearance, or do you know anything more?
No, ma'am, I don't.
For sure.
That morning I drove to work. I quit my job, and I didn't speak to nobody at work. Quit my job.
You're saying the affidavits, majority of what we read in there is complete.
That's like, wait, so he walked? How do you quit your job without telling no one you quit? That's not how you quit a job. Has this guy quit a job before? This guy had a job before? I don't think this guy has. This guy's never had a job before, doesn't understand how quitting works. You have to tell people you quit. You didn't quit. You just left. What an idiot.
Completely incorrect.
Yes, I just felt like it was a witch hunt at the time, and they were just trying to pin it on somebody, which was me. I didn't want that happening.
All signs are kind of pointing to you right now.
You know, like I said, I have nothing to hide.
Sean, do you know anything about Hailey's disappearance?
No, I don't. I'd just like to say something to Hailey if she's out here watching. Hailey, I hope you come home safe really soon.
We know that
I don't like this guy. I don't like anything about this guy.
That you had in the affidavits, it said something about Clint's uncle said, who could ever hurt a little girl? You said something to the effect of, yeah, it's like killing a baby deer.
When the police searched the home of, Sean and Billy, in the bedroom they found a box. Inside the box was a load of documents. The documents were about serial killers, mass murderers, the occult, a lot of true crime, a lot of family murder.
Who has it? Why is this a thing? Wait, hold on. Why is this a thing? Why is this a... Who prints this stuff?
Murders, all that kind of stuff. They were obsessed with true crime. Fucking weirdos. So now you can see how this was looking. Not great for Sean. And this was in addition to the 911 tapes which were made public. Billy and Sean had called the police on each other numerous, and by numerous I mean shitload, of times. So you can imagine what kind of house that would have been to live in. Way beyond not great. Really.
I broke up with this guy a couple of days ago, and he's a little MHMR, and he's telling me that he's going to kill me and my ex-husband, and that it's going to be remembered for a long time. He keeps on texting me, and I've...
So I've got my essay written, and I've been working on it for about a week. So now I'm going to show you how I use Grammarly to edit.
Text back just to try to calm him down a little, but he said it's going to happen.
Yeah, it's Billy Dunn. Oh, God. He's been going all day. All right, I'll go up there. So she's saying that,
I'm sorry. I shouldn't be like... But this officer just be like, oh, for God's sakes, I've been dealing with these people all day. I'll go up there, fine, but God damn it.
She wants to die. She don't care about lasting off the bull crap.
So a game like this is just a tale of two people just consistently telling people different stories and that, but I don't find, yeah. So probably none of them are true. They're just making up shit to get each other in shit. Unfortunately, I know couples like that.
I don't know what to do.
Okay, who are you?
Yeah. I'm her ex-boyfriend.
What is your name?
Sean Atkins. I've got a Billy Dunn that's living over there at 1806 Chestnut. We got a call over here from her boyfriend saying that she's possibly suicidal, threatening to take a bunch of pills.
I want to know what this, hold on, I want to know what this officer's the actual officer's reaction is. Because if this guy's reacting the same way when she immediately got the message about the threats that her boyfriend's making, what's this guy fucking gonna say when the boyfriend makes accusations of her being suicidal?
Like that.
Earlier, I had an officer go out to her location while I was on duty because she called in saying that he was threatening to physically harm her and or kill her.
What's really interesting, though, is that nothing happened to him. Because a lot happened because of him. While Hailey's angels were looking anywhere and everywhere, Billy and Sean turned their living together situation into more of an on-again, off-again situation. At the end of February 2011, so Hailey had been missing for about 2 months at this stage, a search of both Billy's home and Sean's mother's home in Big Springs resulted in, well, they found a lot, and I mean a lot, of, child porn. Nothing happened, right? The sheriff said, well, you know, we can't really tell who owned it, right? This horrific shit, so, who are we gonna arrest, you know? The 3 people who it could be, one it probably is. No. The Invisible Man owned it. 1 month later, in March, Billy Dunn was arrested by the police for lying about where Sean was. See, the police had long named Sean a person of interest at this stage, and when they had a search warrant for him, they went to his mother's house in Big Springs, where he said he was living after moving out of Billy's. He wasn't there. They then went to Billy's. She said he wasn't there either. Long story short, he was found in the closet. Drugs were found in the house, and Billy was arrested for hindering prosecution, possession of a dangerous drug, and giving a false report to an officer.
Okay, so let's dissect this for a second. So first, they find inappropriate stuff involving children, and they choose to not prosecute anyone because they can't figure out who owns it. Sure, okay, you're all idiots. The police officers in this area are clearly idiots. At least at this time frame. Who knows what they are now? But it's 2011, so they're probably idiots. At least 2011 they were. We have this stupid woman here who has a person they're trying to find, and they have a warrant for a search warrant, by the way, and either, but it's a warrant, and you're hiding them in a closet, and then they find them because they arrest you because you're hiding someone. No intelligence anymore. Everyone's just so fucking stupid.
And they were still no closer to finding Hailey Dunn.
Colorado City officials are updating the public on the outlook of the investigation.
Things are looking grim. Hailey Dunn is likely dead. Although we would very much like the safe return of Hailey, they may not be likely. Searches for Hailey are still happening.
They wouldn't be until 2 years had passed.
For instance, the main thing about him quitting his job and lying to me about it for a week, saying he had a job and then telling me he was fired when in fact he wasn't.
She suspects he may know more about Hailey's whereabouts than what everyone originally thought.
For sure.
Hailey has been missing from her Colorado City home for almost 15 months.
There's been a lot of speculation that this could be the remains of missing teen Hailey Dunn.
A search team brought in a psychic and investigator to help find clues.
Oh, I just said they found a sidekick to help find clues. Did I hear that right?
Brought in a psychic and
Unbelievable.
Investigator to help find clues.
On March 16th, 2013, Hailey's remains were finally found. They were discovered near Lake J.B. Thomas in Scurry County. That's just to the north of Colorado City, where Snyder is. So maybe a little over a 30-minute drive from her home. A man walking along discovered her skull, a tooth, a femur, and blue sweatpants, which is what she was believed to have been wearing when she vanished. The case then went quiet, but not cold. Private investigators, Clint Dunn especially, continued to work on trying to find out who was responsible for this. Wink, wink. While time went by. A lot of time will go by.
I still want to believe every time you tell me that.
I have the feeling that officers are just, when they found the body, so like, okay, we did our part. You got a thing. We don't need to worry about who did it. Doesn't matter. We got the killer. Thank you for a thing. Now you can praise us. I have the weird feeling the officers pretty much stopped looking for any killer or anything. They didn't bother with that. They just now got the body, so now they're fine. They put their hands up, they're good. They done their part.
There's going to be an arrest soon. I keep that faith.
I'm 99% sure that somebody killed Hailey there at her house, and I think it was Sean.
I never thought that I would get the 9 years. I keep thinking that it's gonna happen, and that I can't figure out why it's not. They told me that Sean Atkins killed your daughter, Clint. Two police officers looked at me and did that to me.
And all of that brings us to, about now, actually, right about now. Which, remember when I said nothing happened to old Sean-O? Turns out they were just saving up.
And I would never do nothing to that little girl. I love her with all my heart. And I just wish for her safe return.
On the 14th of June 2021, 35-year-old Sean was arrested, still living with Mama. And he was charged with murder. The murder of Hailey Dunn. $2 million bond, baby. What led them to this? Well, the police have released jack shit. They would usually release the affidavit, but they're saying that as this relates to a child, ain't getting it. They did release a redacted report. As in, you're looking at it. 5 pages out of 102, and pretty much most of it just covered in grey squares.
Why are the police playing so weird with this case? Why are they trying to hide so much from this case? There's some freaking weirdness going on with this police department.
But it also lists kidnapping. So, they presume he took her from her home and murdered her elsewhere. It's believed that DNA linked him to the murder, and the cause of death was revealed 6 months later, which is also just about now. He used blunt force trauma by striking her in the head with an unknown object. And all that actually takes us to where we are today. Something which is, which was pretty clear over a decade ago, is now official. Well, I suppose innocent until proven guilty, yeah. It will be when the trial is over. When that trial will be... But this guy, shades and all, look at him. He's what he always appeared to be. This is a judge a book by its cover. He's a giant sack of shit. At least it's some...
We agree on that.
Solace to her family, Clint especially, that she was found and the killer is on his way to being behind bars. Likely forever.
Hopefully, I don't trust this police department right now, in all honesty. I don't trust them. I feel... I wouldn't be shocked if they tried to they fucking mess up so bad that they make it so he gets away scot-free. I don't trust this police department here. In this wherever the hell town, in freaking Colorado, freaking city in Texas. I don't trust them. I don't trust the police department there.
Billy too, but man, the way she acted after her daughter went missing is weird. She acted kind of weird. Seemed at times more protective of Sean than proactive for her missing daughter, Hailey. But hey, I wasn't there. Sean was. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you taking the time to do so.
Alright, so that's the end of that reaction, everybody. Now, there you go. What I think of that is, yeah, I'm pretty sure you don't have to be stupid to figure out he did that. What the mother has something to do with it? Do I believe she has something to do with it? Yes, she acts very sketchy afterwards. To the point that if she doesn't, she needs to there's something else wrong with her. Might be drugs, it might not be. It might be something else, but there's something wrong with her that's causing her to act the way she does. That guy's a piece of shit. I think that's easy to see. I said it from the moment that guy looks sketchy as hell. He just looks sketchy. I am glad they found the body, and I'm glad everything else everything can be resolved. And hopefully this guy goes to jail for life. Do I expect it? Not really. But you should be doing it anyways. Thank you all for watching though, guys. And I'll see you for the next one.